Welcome to CityWise. I'm your host, Tiana Stevens. CityWise is produced by the City of Rochester to shine a spotlight on city living at its best. Organized youth sports are an important part of keeping our kids healthy and active, and they help kids build self-esteem, encourage teamwork, and overall they help strengthen the community. In Rochester, there's a number of youth sports to choose from, but happening right now, there's a special push to boost participation in baseball in the city, and that's where the Rochester Youth Baseball Coalition comes in. John Picone, the city's coordinator of athletics and aquatics, and Bruce Conroe, president of Eastside Little League, are here to tell us about this effort. Thank you both for joining us today.
Thanks for having us, Tina.
Let's just start with, what is the Rochester Youth Baseball Coalition, and why did it start?
Well, the coalition began in late 2012 with the help of the Rochester Red Wings, Naomi Silver, Dan Mason, officials of the City of Rochester, and all the Little League representatives. There was a survey that had been done recently with research from Dr. James Madison, and it showed that compared to other cities of equal size, Rochester was falling behind in its participation in Little League baseball. Because of that, and even though the data might be able to be argued, we decided to push forward, and it energized all the organizations for Little Leagues to get together and meet and discuss ways that we can improve attendance at all our Little Leagues across the city of Rochester and engage youth in a great historical pastime in Rochester.
Mm-hmm. Bruce, why baseball?
Because baseball is the national pastime, has been for a long time. We are aware that participation with city youth is declining. Many more interests nowadays for kids with basketball, football, lacrosse, swimming. It's not like it was 40, 50 years ago where baseball was the only game in town. That said, it's a fantastic game. Teaches kids sportsmanship, patience, skills, a variety of things that we think are very much needed for city youth and all youth, actually.
Mm-hmm. Why do we need to keep our kids engaged, keep them busy? Some people say the kids are doing too much these days. They're running from A to B to C. Why is it important?
Well, you know, statistics show that when kids are involved in any kind of activity, you know, it enables them to stay out of trouble a little bit more, keeps them focused, and they have better grades in schools when it shows that they're involved with sports or any activity in general. What's the mission of the coalition?
The mission of the coalition is to increase participation in baseball programs with city youth. There are a variety of different organizations. There's Williamsport affiliated Little Leagues like Eastside, Southside, Genesee Valley Little League, and there also are independent leagues. Although our goals may differ somewhat, we're all really sharing the same goal of getting more participation, having more kids play ball. It's a great game. The myth that city kids don't play baseball, we're trying to dispel that, because city kids love baseball if they're given the opportunity to play.
Mm-hmm. And recently there was a sign-up drive. How did that go, and was that new for you guys?
Every year we go through a registration, a sign-up. We're hoping the coalition can help all of the participating leagues improve their numbers and get the word out. Really, it's a promotional effort. There also is a promotional effort with the Little Leagues in District 4, which covers most of Monroe County, Victor, Honey Falls, Lima, to have a branding and a promotional effort to promote the game, promote the opportunities and the benefits for youth baseball, Little League or otherwise, and we think that's going to help us get our numbers up. We've done pretty well this year for registrations for Eastside. The other leagues have done as well.
And that was a great opportunity. We hosted that at the public market, you know, a place where people come from all over the city of Rochester and outside the city of Rochester. And so all the leagues were there for that activity, and some of them really said that they did really well with that opportunity. So we look to continue that in the future. We've talked, you know, the Red Wings are possibility to hold it in the future at Frontier Field, where some of the little leagues could be there also, and we could have an open registration date.
Mm-hmm. You said the mission for most of the leagues is the same, increased participation. How do they differ if, you know, you have different ages, different levels of competitions? What are the differences? And maybe you can explain how Eastside operates in some of the other leagues.
Alrighty. Some of the differences, I'll speak to Little League, the Williamsport affiliated leagues. That's my particular bend. There's participation from age 5 through age 18, boys and girls. We have softball programs, so we don't exclude the ladies by any stretch. Ladies can play baseball if they choose to, so we're fully inclusive. all the leagues are inclusive in terms of gender equality types of things. Kind of unique for Eastside in that we hold the charter for Little League for the entire city. Our sister leagues in Southside and Genesee Valley, we're having trouble supporting it just by the numbers. So we went to Little League and said we're in a little better position to help them out. So now all those girls get funneled to Eastside for softball. So it's an important feeder system for the high schools to have kids playing. We're finding more and more that our city baseball teams in high schools, they struggle when they play the suburban teams, and usually it's because they haven't played as much as our suburban counterparts. So we view Little League and the youth baseball leagues as positive feeders. City of Rochester School District very much on board. We've gotten training from some of the varsity coaches in the city teams. Carlos Cotto, the director of athletics for the city, very supportive of our programs. And again, we look at this as a positive feeder for the high school programs.
Mm-hmm. How can the community help out?
Well, I think there's a variety of different ways. Monetary support, sponsor teams, volunteer, whether it be as a coach or as an umpire. Any of those ways to support and engage different little leagues is going to be, is going to move them forward and increase the participation and the ability to increase the participation.
And Bruce, you mentioned training for the coaches. How does that work? Are there organized classes for coaches to attend?
There generally are. Little League International has wonderful coaching programs. There's a Positive Coaching Alliance. Eastside Little League for 3 or 4 years now has required certification of our coaches from the SUNY Youth Sports Institute. That was an excellent program. Coaches were required to attend to get the certification. It was a 2-year certification. The SUNY Youth Sports Institute, unfortunately, has shuttered. So now we're looking at other ways to certify our coaches. There's mentoring internally. The individual leagues, as well as District 4 Little League, sponsors training programs. We have a program coming up next Saturday with Big Al Price training. Used to be the Al and Al training program. 4-hour training sessions that cover everything from skills, drills, dealing with the administrative side of baseball, dealing with parents, always a fun part of the game. Everything from soup to nuts to properly run a league and train your coaches, umpires, and administrators how to properly run things.
Can anyone be a coach?
Pretty much, yes.
Yeah.
There are a few caveats. In Little League, there are required background checks. If you don't pass a background check, you're going to be excluded. Again, that's a safety feature that Little League highly touts. Clearly, I'm a Little League centric, but that's a strength for Little League. It's a strong international organization. They're enjoying their 75th anniversary. It remains the largest youth sports organization I believe, in the world, if not in the United States. So we're very proud of the strength of Little League. But we will welcome anybody, again, with some minor caveats. Make sure we've got the right people teaching our kids.
What's your advice for parents who are new to youth competitive sports? We've seen in the news parents fighting, at games, not here in Rochester, of course, but it does happen, and we've seen signs popping up, hey, it's just a game, and directed towards parents. So what's your advice for a parent that's just starting?
Well, I think the important thing is to keep the focus on your youth being involved in the sport, them having an opportunity to socialize with other kids, and most of all, to have fun. Baseball is a fun sport, and you need to keep that, in your mind at all times as you're developing your kid into, participating in this sport, and it's just the #1 focus you have to have.
Right. It's kids playing a kid's game. We try and make sure the parents understand that. We also have agreements, kind of a parent compact that we present to the parents that basically are saying, let's keep this fun for the kids. We expect a certain level of behavior and conduct. If you cross that line, then you may be asked to leave. We try and coach those parents into keeping it fun for the kids. We're keeping score for a reason. There are winners and losers. There's nothing wrong with that. But it is still kids playing a kid's game. So keeping the adrenaline down is a key part of that.
I think all the organizations have a code of conduct for the youth, but also many of them have it for the parents, and they make them sign it off.
Correct.
So, that's important, and to make sure they stay to those.
What do you think are some of the barriers when we talk about urban youth and baseball? What would be some of the barriers keeping them from playing baseball?
I think one of the things is the amount of fields. The city of Rochester is limited with the amount of fields they have, and as baseball continues to grow, it becomes a challenge. That's probably the main thing that I see.
That's a big one. There's a substantial number of single-parent households. It's difficult to get to and from practices and games. Maintaining the fields, very difficult. The city has been a wonderful partner for Eastside Little League in maintaining our facilities, but a lot of the work, probably most of the work, is done by our volunteers. Participation requires volunteers. We tell our coaches, if you're here just to put the kids on the field, it's going to take more than that. We have done an extraordinary amount of work at our home field at Tryon Park and Farmington Park, and we think they rival any of the fields in the county. We are forever amazed when people come in and they're shocked when they see what Tryon Park looks like. It's kind of tucked away off the beaten track, but when they get there and realize what's involved in maintaining that field, they're pretty impressed, and we are too. It's worth all the work.
And I think that's where the volunteers really come in. I know many of the organizations have a field day right off the bat, and that's where they get all the parents involved, and they'll work a full Saturday day getting those fields ready for the season, and then like Bruce said, maintaining them throughout the year. It takes many people still to do that, not just the ones that are there opening day, helping on the field days.
Mm-hmm.
Do you find a lot of parents volunteering too? For they're there anyways.
Quite a few, yes. We push that pretty hard, and we've had excellent participation. Again, we need team parents, we need coaches, we need assistant coaches. There's administrative work to be done. Again, Little League does have some rules. They don't paper us to death, but sometimes it's close, and there's a lot involved keeping that going, managing the league. We have a 15-member board of directors that runs the league. We're serving about 325 kids every year. So there's quite a bit involved. We're all volunteers. In all of these youth sports organizations, it's all volunteers. There is no paid help to keep this going. So there's an awful lot of folks giving very freely of their time to make these organizations run, provide the opportunities for our kids.
Have you seen a measurable difference in registration since the coalition was started?
Yeah, the one at the public market, the responses from some of the organizations, the emails that we received, one of the leagues itself that day got 12 new kids that registered. That's a great step. Now we need to build on that.
Okay, well, wonderful. Thank you guys for your time today.
Thank you,
to
Deanna.
learn more about the Rochester Youth Baseball Coalition, you can call the City Bureau of Recreation at 428-6755. You can also visit rochesterbaseballcoalition.org. And just ahead on CityWise, we're still talking baseball. The Rochester Red Wings will talk about their 2014 season. CityWise will be right back. Welcome back to CityWise. I'm your host, Tiana Stevens. There's so much to do in Rochester year-round, but springtime in the city means we're out enjoying the weather at festivals and events. It also means it's time for the Rochester Red Wings baseball season to start. And joining us now is Dan Mason, General Manager of the Rochester Red Wings, and Spikes, who really needs no introduction. Thank you both for joining us. So 2014 season is just around the corner. What can we expect for opening day?
Well, opening day is really the first sign that spring is finally here, especially this year. And we've got another great tribute to the military. We've got over 50 different companies from the Rochester area that have purchased tickets that they've donated to members of military families in the Rochester area. So that'll be a big part of our opening day ceremonies, but a lot of new things at the ballpark this year, probably more than I can remember since our initial season at Frontier Field. We have a new logo. Don't worry, you're still part of the big logo there, Spikes. We have a new scoreboard out in right field. We have a new ticketing system, new padding on the outfield walls, and of course some great new cuisine at Frontier Field, which we've become kind of famous for. So.
Great, and tickets are still available for our opening day, and it's a great atmosphere for families, and it's really easy to park there. What can if you're afraid of young kids, what would you say to families that haven't ventured out to the ball field?
Well, I think you're right. It's a very fan-friendly place, especially for families. That's really, who we target, and that's who comes out to the ballpark. Parking is very convenient at the Kodak lots on Oak Street, and then off of Maurice Silver Way in Plymouth. So parking is easy. It's very affordable. I think if you look at going to a Red Wings game compared to a lot of other entertainment opportunities, it's you can get a ticket for $7 to come and see us, and there's not much that you can do where you can spend 3 hours with your family and be entertained for only $7. So we have great food, something for everybody, no matter what you like. Hot dogs are obviously a big fan favorite, but we've got everything else under the sun: mac and cheese, and red osier, and we have a barbecue stand. Even if you want a salad at a ballpark. Now, I don't know why you would want to have a salad at the ballpark, but we even have salads nowadays. So really a wide array of cuisine to choose from at Frontier Field. We've got music for people of all ages and likes. So really, we try to make it fun for people, whether they like baseball or, close your ears, even if they don't like baseball. We try to make it fun for families, and obviously the new scoreboard is going to really help us to make it even more fun for fans that come out.
What are some of the special promotions for 2014?
Well, we've got fireworks on Fridays and Saturday nights, every Friday and Saturday night, beginning in mid-May. Also on Sundays, kids can run the bases. Some of Spike's favorite friends will be coming out. The Superstars will be out here twice this year. We'll have a Star Wars night on July 12th. We'll have a Superheroes night. We'll have a lot of different former major leaguers coming in to sign autographs. Darryl Strawberry, who became famous with the New York Mets and the New York Yankees, will be here in June to sign autographs. Bill Lee, former Boston Red Sox pitcher. Bert Blyleven, a Hall of Famer, will be here in July. So for a complete lineup of all the different promotions, because we've got something going on every single game, go to redwingsbaseball.com.
Okay, and you brought some of the new merchandise that goes along with the new logo to show us today.
Yeah, we've got our new logo, which we're very excited about. We had our old logo that we introduced back in 1997 when we moved to Frontier Field. So it served us well for 17 years, but we thought it was time for a little refresher course for Spike's logo here. So this will be our home cap that the team will be wearing at Frontier Field for all of our home games. This is our road cap, which is a little bit similar to what we've had in the past, which really made Spike's famous and a household name. And then this will be our batting practice cap that we'll wear every day, and also we'll wear this cap on Sundays for our Sunday afternoon games. So that's the headwear that we'll be sporting this year. And this is just some of the other items that you can get at the Red Wings team store right now. Our new logo T-shirt. You want to hold that for me, Spikes?
Spikes is looking pretty fierce in that, I must say.
He's definitely looking ready to play ball. This is our workout shirt from Nike that the players will be wearing. A sweatshirt, a hooded sweatshirt, and then if you want to dress up a little bit, then we've got our new sweater here available. So all this and much more available at the Red Wings team store. We're open 10 to 4 every day, and of course when you're out at the old ballpark you can check out all the merchandise at the Red Wings team store.
Frontier Field's been a busy place kind of year-round. We had something new this winter. Why don't you tell us about that and how that went, and if you think you'll do that again, the Frozen Frontier?
Yes, we had the Frozen Frontier, so we didn't really have an off-season. Usually this year, usually for baseball people, they kind of, I don't want to say we hibernate, but that's when we kind of, have a little bit more downtime. But this year with the Frozen Frontier, it was a very busy year. We think it was a phenomenal event, something, one of those events that people that were a part of it, whether you were there as a fan for the Amerks game or one of the RIT games or one of the many other games that we had, or whether you were a participant as a player or you were out watching your kids play, I think no matter who went to the Frozen Frontier, it's something that they're going to remember for a long, long time. And that's something we're very proud of, our partnership that we had with the Buffalo Sabres and the Rochester Americans to make that event possible, and the many other organizations that participated. So it was a great event. I don't think it will be an annual event. It's quite an undertaking from a lot of different angles, but it might be something that we do down the road. But you never know. We'll have to wait and see on that, but it was certainly an event that people will remember around here for a long time.
And we're happy that Spikes didn't fly south this winter. He stayed with us, so thank you, Spikes, for that. You mentioned partnerships, and I know that the Rochester Red Wings is very invested in the youth in the community, and we just spoke to the Rochester Youth Baseball Coalition. They mentioned that the Red Wings helped them start that group. Why is that important to keep kids involved, and why baseball?
Well, I think for a lot of reasons. You know, our formal name is Rochester Community Baseball. That's our formal corporate name. And I think when community is your middle name, it's vital that you become invested in the community. If you want people to, you know, we realize that people had a lot of entertainment options, you know, time, you know, and money to spend. You know, people only have so much disposable income to spend on entertainment. And if they're investing in us, we feel it's important for us to invest back in the community. And, you know, for us, baseball is what we know best. So to get to work with the coalition and the many youth organizations in town, it's our way of giving back. You know, fixing up the fields. You know, that's something we've done every year for many years. Go to a different Little League field with our grounds crew and our front office, and we really want to make these kids, when they walk out onto their Little League field, feel like it's the next best thing to being in a big league ballpark. And you know, to walk in, you see fields that are, you know, kind of disheveled and, you know, a lot of weeds and not really looking like a tip-top baseball field. And then to leave after working with the particular leagues and people from the city and from the people in our office and our grounds crew, to leave and have it look spectacular, it really, you know, it makes us feel great, and it's just something that we feel is important to give back to the community.
And you have a special day every season where you invite the Little Leagues out to Frontier Field. Absolutely, and we have a lot of Little Leagues from all over the Rochester area that come out, and, you know, the youth, they're the fans of tomorrow also. You know, we focus so much on families, and we hope that by cultivating the love of baseball and spending time with your family at the ballpark, that when these little kids grow up and have their own families, that they're going to look forward to passing on that tradition that their grandparents or that their parents started with them. One of the new things this year is a new ticketing system too. How's that going to work, and how's that going to make it easier for fans and for you guys? Well, it's been really great so far. I think the biggest difference for our fans is the convenience that it's going to offer. First of all, we won't have the turnstiles anymore. People will get their tickets scanned as they walk into the ballpark. But also, when people buy online, they'll be able to. In the past, they've just been able to pick out, you know, what kind of seat they wanted. But not really the exact location. So with our new ticketing system, fans will be able to go and view literally every location that's available and pick out the exact location that they want. So that'll be a really nice feature. But I think one of the most, you know, the best features is people will be able to print their tickets right at home. So you can order online and then print them right at home, and you don't have to wait in line at will call at the or at the box office. So I think that'll be the biggest thing. So on those Fridays and Saturdays when we're really swamped and it's a beautiful evening, we really encourage people to buy them in advance, buy them online, and print them out so you don't have to wait in line at the box office. Okay. Finally, let's just step back a little bit. Before 1997, what was Rochester Baseball? What was the venue? And if someone's not from here, they see Maury Silver Way. Sure. Tell us a little bit about that, brief history. Yeah, well, we played at Silver Stadium, which was named after Maury Silver. In 1956, the Red Wings, our parent club was the St. Louis Cardinals, and they decided that they were going to move the team out of town. So Maury Silver, a local businessman, decided that he wanted to keep the team in town, and in order to do that, started a stock drive in which he was able to recruit 8,222 different people to buy shares of stock in the Rochester Red Wings for $10 a share. And some people bought one share, some people bought, 10 shares, 100 shares, but I think that's really how we became known as Rochester Community Baseball. So Maury Silver is really the man that saved baseball in Rochester, and he's one of 3 retired numbers that we have at Frontier Field. Joe Altobelli, Mr. Baseball in Rochester, is number 26. Luke Easter, a very popular player here for the Red Wings, is number 36. And then Maury Silver's
Number that is retired is 8,222 for the amount of shareholders that he was able to recruit and help keep baseball and really save baseball for Rochester.
That's wonderful. And if you just had 2 sentences to give your pitch for Red Wings, what would it be?
Oh, well, I would say come on out and have a great time. We're all about fun, and if you give us a chance, we promise you'll leave with a smile on your face, whether the team wins or loses. But we hope we win.
And Spikes agrees. All right, wonderful. And for tickets and for more information, you can call 423-WING or visit redwingsbaseball.com. Thank you for joining us on this edition of CityWise. I'm Tiana Stevens, and we'll see you next week.